I'm PG, I'm chilling with chapped lips, and this is going to be a video of my general thoughts and really my review of Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show performance. First things first, in the space of reviewing albums, and I'm doing these hip-hop rap album reviews, again, it's just my opinion, my disclaimer, shocker, people have opinions on the internet, all that stuff. But yeah, so first things first, it's just great, and shout out to Kendrick Lamar and I guess the committee for the NFL, which Jay-Z is a part of. Just shout out to Kendrick Lamar and really hip hop in general for having officially one rapper be the solo act and main headliner for a Super Bowl halftime show. It is history, and congrats to Kendrick Lamar and all his accolades recently. Having said that, let's just go over a halftime show, just criteria-wise, like what should one expect for a Super Bowl halftime show? Because Kendrick Lamar, as a performer, I think he did all right. I think he did fine. It was a good performance by him, overall. But as far as a Super Bowl halftime show, a show of this magnitude requires an artist who is already has been a megastar. So Kendrick Lamar, as we all know in the hip hop community, he's one of the best to ever do it. Again, it's mostly artistic and this conscious level of hip hop, and now really recently, even with the album Damn, really last year, 2024, is really the album, the period of time where Kendrick Lamar really actually took off to be a megastar because of the whole rap beef, Not Like Us, and this GNX album filled with these bangers. But it's still, in the general public, in the sphere of the Super Bowl, which is this big event where kids watch it, 20-year-olds watch it, 30-year-olds watch it, 40, 50, all football fans and all types of sports fans and audiences of all ages are watching it. They don't know Kendrick Lamar like that. The average person watching the Super Bowl at the show or even watching at home, the average person probably either doesn't know who he is or just heard of him because of last year and all the beef and all that stuff, and Not Like Us from last year. So keeping that in mind, those type of people, when they watch that show, they're just they're like, who's this guy? Or, oh, when's Not Like Us gonna come on? Oh, and which Kendrick Lamar teased. He had his own artistic vision for the show, I can tell, with teasing the song. And then there's also this narrative storytelling aspect to it, because that's what Kendrick does best, right? He even threw in this narrative aspect where Uncle Samuel L. Jackson is coming in with all the gear and the hat, and he's kind of doing this narration, and it seems to be about kind of this telling the story of being able to express yourself and just having no fear and all that stuff. I'm sure there's ties to black culture in there, but at a general perspective, again, it is a Super Bowl. Keeping it in general, it's just he was narrating the story about express yourself. They might view you as being too ghetto. I think he said at one time, don't be afraid and perform that song. There's that narration kind of going on, and then obviously at the end he performs Not Like Us, and then ended it with TV off. So there's that aspect. Again, artistically, Kendrick Lamar is a megastar in that aspect, but the Super Bowl, the criteria really is you to have a megastar the average person watching can enjoy or try and enjoy. And even the set list, I'm kind of all over the place right now, but I'm just going over the cons right now. So the cons of this, the negatives I have to say about the show is one of it also is mainly the set list, the track list that he performed. Super Bowl halftime show should be a megastar performing their mega or their greatest hits, and obviously you have to have a whole production behind it, very theatrical, live band, instrumentation, and I felt this whole halftime show was missing a lot of that. His set list, just to start off, he didn't perform all his greatest hits. In fact, he performed nothing earlier in his career. He did Humble and DNA off of Damn in 2017, and then aside from that, he just did all stuff from last year. He did GNX album. He started out with Whacked Out Murals. What is even Whacked Out Murals? It was just the intro part of Whacked Out Murals, and then he cut right to the trailer song, and then went into Squabble Up, which was probably one of the better songs or performances of the night. And then it's really just the GNX album, and then DNA and Humble, and the diss song. That's the performance. That's the track list. I'm a Kendrick fan, and if you are a Kendrick fan, you know that his first two albums are, pretty much in that classic realm, if not classics. Good Kid, Mad City, nothing from there. It would have been nice to hear hits from there, like Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, Money Trees, Swimming Pools, which was kind of his breakout song. I'm not saying it's his best hit, but that's his breakout song. Back when, 2011, 2012. And then To Pimp a Butterfly, nothing from there. You didn't do All Right. I know he did. I think he did an All Right performance at the Dr. Dre show, but still, like, that's one of his biggest songs and one of his biggest anthems. All Right wasn't played, wasn't performed. King Kunta. Those are, I think, the two biggest like bops from that album. So nothing from earlier in his career was done, even though some of those are his biggest hits. And yeah, just like in terms of the set list, it just fell flat. It wasn't even the greatest hits. It was really just all last year. That's pretty much what the performance was. So if you're an average person, you probably only know Kendrick from last year, from the Grammys, from Not Like Us, the Beef. So from that perspective, yeah, he definitely checked those boxes. But like, if you're a Kendrick fan, where are the other greatest hits? These new songs like Squabble Up, Not Like Us, these are all like still fresh in people's minds. These aren't greatest hits. And quite frankly, I don't think Kendrick Lamar, again, at the Super Bowl stage, this kind of level of being like a mega star with a mega catalog, with a mega fan base, I don't think he's there yet. Obviously, like the hip hop sphere, he is, but like general public, this is a mainstream pop kind of show. It's the Super Bowl. And you have to tie it all in about I think the show was about 13, 14 minutes. You gotta also tie in your mega hit, mega set list within like 12 to 15 minutes. And he didn't even do his mega hits. It was all just new album stuff. So set list didn't hit, and you can just tell, like, I see videos online, like people in the crowd kind of quiet. And I don't know if the mixing of the production wasn't there either, but you can just tell like the crowd wasn't as into it as like other halftime shows. And probably because Kendrick is still kind of fresh in their minds or new to them. So all of them are kind of just expecting, where's Not Like Us? He does it. So a pro of this show is that he did do the song, which of course he was going to do. He won 5 Grammys off of it. It was the biggest song from last year, heading into this year with the Grammys. Of course he was going to do it. He just has to bleep out certain things. I do give him credit for actually saying, like, say Drake and, Baca and all these, naming people in the Drake camp in that song, and the A minor, he did that, and the only thing he really bleeped out for that was saying what the internet calls now as a PDF file is what they call it. So he bleeped out that word. So yeah, he performed the song. So there's a pro, like he had the balls to at least like kind of go full throttle on it. He had to bleep out one word, but still. Yeah, another pro is that I think the way they brought out SZA, and I think SZA's performance of All the Stars was good. And obviously there was the moment he brought up Mustard. But overall, like, yeah, that wasn't his greatest hits. The Samuel Jackson thing was a little confusing. That was probably like the most memorable part of this performance, is obviously like the anticipation of Not Like Us, and then Samuel Jackson, who, again, if you're there live or even on TV watching on the couch with your buddies, you're not really like you're not trying to dissect a narrative in the middle of a halftime show. It should just be, like I said, the megastar, the mega hits, and like theatrical mega production. The production was like, it was all right. Like they had the PlayStation theme with all the buttons, and then you could see the lights in the back saying like "Game Over" or "Start." There was some things with like lights in the back, but again, it was a little vague, and it wasn't anything crazy. Like the production wise, the theatrics of the show was minimal. Kendrick Lamar as a performer was all right, but again, you're live there. He's rapping fast. He said a couple new things too. The average person there isn't gonna care about like the intricacies of what he's performing. They just want to hear this person and their hits. And I think that was missing from the performance. So songs are missing that he should have done, like I said earlier. And then the production of the whole thing didn't feel like a grand spectacle like other halftime shows. And then the narrative piece, again, a little confusing. And yeah, so if you're watching there live and you don't know Kendrick, or you just found out about Kendrick, you're probably a little confused, and all you really cared about was Not Like Us. So they Not Like Us. Congrats to Kendrick. They not like him because he's the first ever rapper to headline an event like this. But honestly, to headline the Super Bowl. But honestly, I'm not feeling good. It was underwhelming Super Bowl halftime show. Underwhelming even as a Kendrick fan and for what he performed. And underwhelming production as a whole. This is probably the worst grade I'll ever give anything attached to Kendrick Lamar, or the worst grade anyone will ever give in the space to Kendrick Lamar. So this is the grade I'm giving it, wherever the hell I end up putting it. But yeah, it was missing a lot that Super Bowl halftime shows require or just need. So yeah, I mean, if you like Kendrick Lamar, maybe you probably enjoyed it, but like there was still, as Kendrick Lamar fans I hear, and like in group chats or that I see online, that still were disappointed by the show, and I was disappointed too. Extra thoughts on this: it's not the worst halftime show. Like I hear people saying it's like ass worst halftime show. It's not. Like the Black Eyed Peas or the Fergie one, that one was terrible. And also I remember it was Maroon 5, Adam Levine, whatever. That one was bad. All I remember from that one is like Travis Scott had a little like cameo where he like the SpongeBob halftime show meme came in. Then Travis came in. I think Big Boy was there too for like a song because it was in Atlanta. But that whole show was like, again, it was just completely random and nothing really memorable about it. That one was bad too. That was bad. Again, Katy Perry, I only remember because of the shark dancer or whatever. The Fergie one was pretty shit too. Yeah, like there's worse halftime shows than this one, but this one just wasn't it. I don't think Kendrick Lamar did what was required of him for a show like this. Also, he's just not the megastar. He's a megastar, like he just became a megastar. Hasn't been a megastar long enough for him to really have a superb halftime show yet. So other rappers I think who would kill it as a solo act would be, people won't like these opinions, but Drake would have a great halftime show because he also can sing. He has, let's face it, he has a stronger popularity. He has a stronger pop mainstream mega hit catalog than Kendrick Lamar. You can argue about artistic integrity, true hip hop all you want, but at this stage, Drake would be a much better halftime show performer because he's pop. He's got way more hits than Kendrick Lamar does. He's just more popular, and that just resonates with a Super Bowl halftime show audience. And also the other rapper I think would kill it as a solo act would be Ye, Kanye West, but yeah, that's not happening. Yeah. So those are my thoughts, my review of the Super Bowl halftime show and Kendrick Lamar's performance. Just weak to me. What are you guys' thoughts and review of the halftime show? What do you guys think of my thoughts? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the comment section. Like the video if you like the video. Please subscribe. Oh, and I won like 4 of my 4 prop bets. So I won money during the Super Bowl. So that's a plus. And let me know if you won money too. Stay blessed and profitable.